It is a Saturday night showdown between the top two teams in the Pro Volleyball Federation. The Omaha Supernovas playing host to the Atlanta Vibe in the CHI Health Center, the host of last year's Pro Volleyball Federation inaugural championship. Well, the event tonight could go a long way toward determining who plays whom in this year's PVF Championship semifinals in Vegas coming up in May. Well, here is why. The PVF standings, 3 teams as of last night, with Orlando beating Columbus, have clinched a playoff spot. But this matchup is key towards determining who will win this year's regular season title. Omaha could win tonight and virtually lock it up, but Atlanta, if they win, could control their own destiny the rest of the way. Thanks so much for joining us, AJ Cannell alongside Madison Fitzpatrick. These two teams, Madison, Atlanta and Omaha, in the second year of the PVF, they've been the class of the league the last couple of seasons.
I think it's safe to say that this is a battle of the Titans. This is one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season, and both of these teams have a whole lot of momentum and a lot of depth coming into this matchup.
The host tonight, the defending champion Omaha Supernovas, even better so far this year in 2025.
And you know what's so incredible about that stat is that they only returned 2 from their reigning championship team. They aren't just rebuilding Omaha, though. They have just simply reloaded. Their dominance has come in part to the depth in each position, which is what head coach Bird told us, and a key leader in Brooke Nunneveller coming off their 9th sweep of the season. That's absolutely insane.
Last year's regular season champions, the Atlanta Vibe, they have upgraded with a mid-season signee, Micaiah White, on the outside.
Talk about a game changer. Talk about a spark. That's Micaiah White. The former All-American in Texas has been red hot since stepping foot in Atlanta. Coach Kayla Vanworth told us she brings 3 things to that outside position: poise, experience, and point scoring. And she has delivered from day one. 3.56 kills per set in only 3 matches. She's been seemingly unstoppable to start.
White joins Edmond on the outside in our Ren Athletics starting lineups. Corey Lewis, McKenna Vicini in the middle. Aiko Jones at opposite, making her 6th straight start. Marley Montserrat at setter. And last year's Libero of the Year, Morgan Hens, has a great chance to repeat with that honor starting for Atlanta. For the Omaha Supernovas, Nunneveller alongside Reagan Cooper, getting her 2nd straight start back in the lineup on the outside. Phoebe Awalea's 2nd career start, back-to-back matchups, joined by Caitlin Horde in the middle. Kelsey Payne at opposite, Natalia Valentine Anderson at setter, and Camila Gomez, who tied with Morgan Hens for the season high in the league in digs. They each had 31 in the season opening match against each other when Omaha defeated Atlanta 3-2 in a comeback victory. Omaha also won on February 8th in Georgia, so the Supernovas are 2-0 in the season series this year. All time, the teams are tied 3-3. Kelsey Payne serves. And Aiko Jones hits the top of the block. And Jones entering the starting lineup. This is her 6th straight start in place of the #1 overall pick, Merritt Beeson. She's been a huge key, especially as a blocker for Atlanta. Now McKenna Vicini out of Stanford with the serve. Nunneveller tips. On the slide, Phoebe Awalea.
Awalea got her first start last match, and she's really good off of 1 foot. So that's one of the advantages of Awalea. When you've got Valentine Anderson in the front row, you can run her behind and have that offensive pressure on the slide.
Corey Lewis in the middle, getting a swing and scoring for Atlanta. First-year head coach Caleb Vanworth, former head coach at Ole Miss, and was an outstanding defensive player as a libero, originally coming out of Nebraska. Was the starting libero for Team USA 2016 bronze medal in Rio. Gomez locks it up for Payne, who had 22 kills, shattering her previous career high a few matches ago at Vegas.
And with those 22 kills, she hit 411 digs and 4 blocks. So she has some momentum. She's in a rhythm offensively, bringing that into this matchup.
Payne out of system. Monserrat has to take it, so Hentz with the second ball for Edmond. Good overhead dig by the middle, Awalea, and Nunaviller blasts it down out of the back row. Omaha head coach Laura Bird-Kuhn in her second season. Remarkable, you think about how she was named interim coach a couple of matches into the year last year and took over as the permanent coach over the summer after winning the inaugural PVF championship. And a kill for last year's MVP, Leah Edmond.
That's a matchup that Leah Edmond most definitely likes. Swinging against Valentine Anderson, there's a little bit of a height disparity there. And when she gets a one-on-one situation, she's able to go high and over Valentine Anderson to the line.
Edmond, one of the best servers in the PVF over the last couple of years, but knocks that one into the net.
Number 1,
It'll be rotation 1 now for Omaha with their setter, Natalia Valentine Anderson, who is 5th in the league in assists this year. Serving it White. Shoves that one in a diving play by Valentine Anderson. Now Reagan Cooper right into the pocket for Hentz. It's White. It's Payne. White with a big wallop, dug by Gomez. Edmond going short. Cooper reads it. Set for Nunaviller. Hentz is right there. White swings toward Gomez. Cooper going line. Aiko Jones the dig. What a point this has been. Number 1 versus number 2 in the league. White at the center. Gomez takes it, gives it to Cooper, who's got enough oxygen. Atlanta wins the point on the hitting error by Reagan Cooper.
Are you not entertained? The defense on both sides of the net, absolutely so disciplined, so quick twitch, absolutely insane rally. The block touches also for both teams were really good in that rally. A lot of positive block touches to keep that transition going.
A huge ovation from this huge crowd, even though Omaha lost that point, just appreciating the volleyball.
Survey number 8, Reagan.
We've seen a couple missed serves so far in this set. Well, both teams are really going for it on their serves. Both coaches told us the serve pass game is one that is imperative to win.
Already 3 service errors for Atlanta. White has a huge arm. Micaiah White out of the University of Texas was signed on March 22nd after completing her second season in Turkey.
And so she played for a really competitive league, a really high-level league in Turkey. So she's just bringing all of that momentum, that power, that position that she holds there on the outside, and she's bringing it into this league.
On the gap, Pacini loves that set. Gomez picks up the dig. Gomez going back the other way, and Horde with a nice swing, but tumbling into it went Edmond with the center back defense. Omaha wins with the block in front. Caitlin Horde, the last to touch it.
Omaha Supernovas are leading the league in opponent hitting percentage, and this is one of the reasons why Caitlin Horde is so physical on the block, so quick side to side. She's leading the league in blocks with 72 on the season.
Now 4 blocks away from passing Stina Vuchkova for the all-time Omaha record. Another roof. This time Kelsey Payne gets the better of White. And that leads this first set to a timeout. Omaha 8, Atlanta 5. A packed house, first place versus second place tonight in Omaha.
Presented by Restoration 1. When disaster strikes, Restoration 1 is here to help. They don't just restore your property, they treat you like a neighbor, offering reliable service during tough times. When you need help, Restoration 1 is just a phone call away. Discover Nick's Quorum, Omaha's premier bar and supper club, located inside Hilton, Omaha. Indulge in chef's tableside carved prime rib, Prohibition-era cocktails, and brunch. Served 7 days a week. That's Nick's Quorum Bar and Supper Club. Make your reservation today at nicksq.com.
Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on Roku Sports. Well, that time of year, the weather getting nicer. Lovely day in Omaha. It should be a lovely match between the second place Atlanta Vibe and the first place Omaha Supernovas. Now, Omaha could basically lock up first place. They wouldn't be able to, but it would be highly unlikely they would not be the regular season champion if Omaha wins today. That one was kept up off the Jones swing, gets another touch. Cooper is there. Meanwhile, Atlanta, there's a challenge coming in the middle of this point. If Atlanta wins, they would actually control their own destiny the rest of the way for first place, just like Omaha, because there is one more match left in the regular season finale between these two teams on May 4th.
Omaha is challenging net fault.
That's the R1, Bill Thornburg. The R2 tonight is Bill Stanley, who's in charge of these replays, along with the 22 HD cameras for Bolt 6 technology, on top of the in and out calls as the point is occurring, and all replay reviews.
Interesting thing to look out for in that last rally. Atlanta is playing with the matchups a little bit at the net. Aiko Jones has moved to that outside position, possibly to block Kelsey Payne, key in on her. And Micaiah White was out there on the right side, matching up against Brooke Nutteviller. So we see the chess match. These two teams have played each other before already twice. They've showed their hands. So both teams doing a little adjusting, a little strategizing. Another interesting thing to note, the last two times these teams have played, Atlanta Vibe fell, and they've hit 158, which is some of their lowest hitting efficiency of the season. To put that into context, they've hit 7 in a row, over 200. So they have momentum offensively, but they haven't the last two times they played Omaha.
No net touch, because the hair does not count. And so in challenging and ending that point in the middle, Omaha loses the point. It's 8-6. Micaiah White will serve for Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, those two previous matchups that you referenced, they were a long time ago. Season opener January 10th, and then the most recent meeting was on February 8th. It's now April 19th. Atlanta had different players starting. You know, Anna Dixon was one of the starters. Merritt Beeson was in the rotation, replacing Dixon during that match. Taylor Head was replacing the injured Pia Timmer. Neither of those players are now playing as prominent a role because of the addition of Micaiah White on the outside. That's on the Atlanta side. There have been some slight adjustments for Omaha as well. Reaching play by Awalea. Gets back to her position in the middle and has to block Lewis. Difficult scenario for Awalea after the save, and Lewis makes the most of it.
It's a good setting decision by Marley Montserrat. Corey Lewis is first in the league in hitting efficiency, hitting .363. You see how high she gets up on that attack. She can create so many angles for herself with that height.
D-ball, and Kelsey Payne has been a new player over the last several matches. What has grown the most in her game in the last few matches?
I think she's gotten into a rhythm offensively. It has to be the offense. She is producing some really high numbers. I think she's seeing the defense really well, and she's taking these big, brave rips and just being more consistent offensively.
A big rip from Edmond. Leah Edmond coming off a 17-kill, 16-dig performance 2 matches ago against San Diego. Also hit nearly 300 with double-figure kills in their sweep to clinch a playoff berth against Orlando. They also clinched the league record for most straight wins, a 10-match winning streak for Atlanta coming into this one. Payne scores out of the back row this time.
A big aspect of volleyball is running a balanced offense, but then as a setter, if you know you have a hot hand, if you've got a player that's hot right now and finding ways to score and seeing the block, you go after that hot hand. Valentine Anderson is doing a good job at feeding Payne.
So Atlanta 10 straight wins.
Service law.
Omaha,
Atlanta.
9-2 since the start of March.
Survey number 13.
No doubt these are the two hottest teams in the league, and they're in first place and second place coming in. Could be a finals preview. It's a likely finals preview as of now. Back set, a good one for Payne. Back set the other way, Cooper. Edmond, really good behind the attack line.
For the Vibe right now, they have so many athletes who are attacking options that Marley Monterey could set. You've got Aiko Jones on the D ball, Makaya White on the outside. I mean, just incredible how many options they have.
First time this set has been tied since it was 2-2. Block touch against Reagan Cooper. Behind the setter, Corey Lewis. Cooper once again. Jones leaning in, that hit the floor for Aiko Jones, the rookie out of the University of Louisville, the first lead of the set for Atlanta.
And there's the balance for Atlanta. You also have to respect Leah Edmond through the pipe, through the big, so that puts a lot of pressure on the opposing block.
A rainbow float serve there from Edmond. And Payne calling for a block touch, but was unable to connect. A 4-0 run for Atlanta.
Watch Payne rise up, trying to get those high hands, trying to grab some fingertips, just not able to.
Big angle from Cooper.
That is an insane angle to hit from that inside the court. That was an inside set, so she had to get her feet there, which she did so really well. Watch her reach, rise up, get her feet underneath her, and then that angle, dropping the thumb that sharp, is a really difficult area of the court to attack.
Even with a little time on the bench recently for Allie Batenhorst, Cooper still 9th in the league this year in total kills. Monserrat for Lewis. Textbook, pancake, Gomez. Hence with the answer. Nunaviller laying out. Cooper sends it down.
Brooke Nunaviller has such a solid read of the game. She is so experienced in all 6 rotations, and she's really quick and athletic, so she's able to make these crazy saves. It was a beautiful out-of-system set also by Gomez, and then to finish it.
Back-to-back for Omaha to tie it back up. And a third in a row, Kelsey Payne pumping her fist.
This Omaha team really thrives when their defense is locked in. Their defense has the ability to truly win full matches for them. Beautiful block, nice press, and good on Kelsey Payne for turning those hands into the court.
Second best blocking team, Omaha, in the league, behind only Grand Rapids. Nunaviller doing it all, playing defense. Another big time dig, but Monserrat knew what to do. Perfect decision from the setter. That ends a 3-0 run from Omaha.
And when you run a 5-1, which all of these teams do, you have to be an offensive threat yourself. You have to make the block respect you and be an offensive weapon yourself to hold the block on you.
Marley Monserrat was a star at University of Florida indoor, and then on the beach for UCLA. Caitlin Horde, a nice swing. She played collegiately at both Penn State and Nebraska.
Caitlin Horde has a really long reach. She's able to get to these balls. That was a gap set, putting pressure on the block, and she was able to find the seam.
White handles the pass. And there was a block touch. As called by Bill Thornburg. So Aiko Jones gets credit for the kill. This has been as closely contested as you would expect between number 1 and number 2 in the league. Nunaviller in the front row. Atlanta trying to pull the arms down. They did so against Payne.
Timeout from the floor.
Going to take us to a timeout. Atlanta jumps in front once again. 16-15 on the road in Omaha. Middle of the first set. Hey, welcome back to Omaha. Volleyball fans, Lee's Family Forum, just outside Las Vegas, will host the second Pro Volleyball Federation Championship on May 9th and 11th. The top 4 PVF teams will face off for the opportunity to earn a cool $1 million prize. All session tickets, which give access to all 3 matches, start at just $49 and are on sale now at provolleyball.com/tickets. Well, we know who 3 of the 4 teams will be. We were in Columbus last night, Orlando winning to clinch the 3rd ticket to the postseason, along with Atlanta and Omaha. An open question right now, who will be the 4th after Indy, which has hit a bit of a skid, lost earlier today against Grand Rapids.
A little bit of drama. A little bit of drama as we head into the postseason. Really exciting, a thriller for sure.
Seemed for a while like we knew who the 4 would be. That final playoff spot is more in question now as the 2 teams directly below Indy, both beating Indy the last couple of matches with Vegas as well earlier this week. Aiko Jones has just been so impressive. It has to take a lot to unseat a #1 overall pick in Merritt Beeson, who the fans here know a heck of a lot about. But Jones has done it because of her blocking ability, also finding ways to score offensively. Going to the outside, White. Likes to hit cross court a lot of the time. No contact there on the Edmond swing, so Omaha with the point.
We really have seen so far in this set how much of an advantage it is to have a Morgan Hens and a Gomez on their teams, because in transition, both of these teams are in system quite often because those liberos are able to control that first ball contact so well.
It's a really good point. Just leads to such an increase in the quality of play. Another nice swing from Jones. She is dialed in.
Substitution. Into the match for the
Aiko Jones, that's her 5th kill so far in this set. Interesting enough, she's coming off of only 3 kills in the last match, so there's been an emphasis to run more through Aiko Jones in this match, and it's paying to their advantage.
Hitting .364, good efficiency as well. Has to take this as the impromptu setter. Who's got it? Taylor Head did at the last second. Hens couldn't quite get there.
Taylor Head playing in the back row. She's a ball control player, very experienced 6th rotation player, so she's getting some time in that middle back position. But Omaha surging ahead on the gap set. Beautiful set right to her hand, able to contact it nice and high and find the floor.
Edmond taking it down the line.
When Leah Edmond gets on top of the ball and she's got that snap and that full body crunch, it is so difficult to pass because there's so much pace and power, and it's coming right at your platform to the ground.
Up until recently, Pia Timmer had been starting alongside Edmond as the other outside. Now she is in a serving specialist role since the addition of White. But Timmer has a nasty float serve. Nunaviller cross-court swing, just overcooked, and Atlanta is up by 3, and they've hit 20 points first.
Atlanta on a little 2-point run here. I wouldn't be surprised if they get another point, maybe another one. Omaha's gonna call a timeout. You don't want Atlanta to get too much of a lead in this red zone.
Atlanta hitting 225, Omaha at 103 in the first set. That number goes up. Nunaviller with the kill.
Brooke Nunaviller, we were told whenever she gets served, Kayla Banworth thinks when she gets served, she's in a really good attacking rhythm. Watch her approach, her route. She looks very confident after the pass, flowing out to the outside and then starting her approach.
Atlanta's head coach also said that they feel like Nunaviller clearly the heartbeat of the team. So that's why you have to keep Nunaviller in check first and foremost. Awolea coming right back to her. And after some congestion, Atlanta takes advantage with a huge roof. That went straight back down, and Corey Lewis had the block for the 5.
It was perfect timing of the block. Beautiful setup by Leah Edmond in the right spot. And what Kelsey Payne was trying to do there is swing sharp into the seam, but with all of that press from Corey Lewis, she swallowed that up.
Now it's Anna Dixon at right front and Mia Tuaninga into serve as a part of the dub sub for Atlanta. Push to Cooper off the top of the block and down. The reason, by the way, that Merritt Beeson doesn't come in as the other right side in his double sub is that whether it's been Jones or Beeson starting, they like Dixon's chemistry with Tuaninga, keeping that position consistent in that double sub.
And she said Dixon and Tuaninga leave the set better than they find it.
Dixon hitting on the left side with a big-time disposal.
Are you kidding me? That was straight down. Talk about a rhythm. Watch the explosion of the approach rising into the air, and that's about as straight down of a line attack on the outside as you're going to see all day long. Absolutely incredible. She got on top of that ball perfectly.
How about that, coming in cold? The former University of Florida star. Payne tips it. Hence, of course, is ready. Nunaviller found the shot.
That was very purposeful on Brooke Nunaviller's part. She really followed through that ball. She was looking for the tool, identifying the hands of the block, and then watch her follow through, swinging cross body, and just tagging the outside arm of Dixon, who was a little too high.
3 for 11, 1 error for Nunaviller, and Payne brings it down on the overpass. Omaha creeping closer in the first set. Timeout, Atlanta.
I like Kelsey Payne's swagger. She is determined. She's extremely focused. There's no smiling after that. She wants to win, and she's serious about it.
It's her first year playing in the PVF. She returned to the U.S. starting with the 2024 Athletes Unlimited season this past year, but Payne is one of those examples because there are all these, younger stars, recent NCAA stars in the league. Payne did play for Kansas previously, but then she went overseas, had a nice career in places like Italy, Turkey, South Korea, Switzerland, Brazil, before coming back to the U.S. And I'm sure for those players, there's got to be such a sense of gratitude for this opportunity after having to go overseas to earn a paycheck to continue playing this sport.
I mean, what a gift. You get to stay in your home country. Maybe your family can come more to watch you. You're in your own home country, and playing in college back in the day, you would think, all right, it's either volleyball overseas or no volleyball career. So it's just beautiful that it can combine a career. They can be happy and comfortable here. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing that Pro Volleyball Federation has done. And all of these players are soaking up this opportunity.
And even better when you have 6 players on the Omaha roster and practice squad who played college volleyball in the state of Nebraska. And a homecoming of sorts today for Merritt Beeson as well. Played,
number 22,
obviously, collegiately at Nebraska. With Atlanta up by 2. The serve from Lewis. Kelsey Payne, a left side swing. Tuaninga still in there. Back sets. Vicini. Great job defensively by the Novas. Reaching for the swing. Dixon. Over Doug. Omaha just sticking around to this point. White tips. Gomez to Cooper. Nunaviller, good second ball setter. Someone trying to wrangle control of this point. Will it be Nunaviller? No, Tuaninga with the dig. Vicini the set to White. This is as scrappy a point as you will see. Payne, a big swing toward the deep corner, and she just missed.
This is some of the longest rallies we have seen all season long. The defense on both sides of the net, so locked in. Shout out to Tuaninga, beautiful up by her. These rallies are so long because the defenses are so elite.
Set point. Pretty athletic save from Valentine Anderson, but a chance for Atlanta. It's White clipping the tape. Off blocker defense from Payne. Cooper finding the angle, keeping Omaha in the set.
Bird told us Reagan Cooper is extremely consistent. She swings very high, which that is evident every single time she contacts the ball. And she's stable. She's trustworthy in these pressure situations when you have set point for the opposing team.
Matching Kelsey Payne for the team high with 4 kills, but no one with great efficiency right now for Omaha. Big block from Nunaviller. Another set point saved. Timeout Atlanta, their final timeout of the set.
It was a one-on-one situation. That's what you want to put your attackers in, is that one-on-one. You want one hitter to one blocker, but Brooke Nunaviller has a great read on the ball defensively and on her net defense. She dove those arms into the seam and read the shoulder of the attacker perfectly.
Okay, if this is any type of preview for Vegas, May 9th and May 11th, it's time to buy those tickets.
I mean, both teams. Atlanta already has 26 digs. Omaha, 27 digs. And it's been some powerful swings. I mean, just every facet of the game is as elite as they come, and there's not a lot of weaknesses with these two teams, and that creates a very tightly contested and one of the most entertaining sets I have seen all season.
It's reminiscent with all the digs of the season opener on January 10th when both Pence and Gomez had 31 digs each. Those are still the 2 best totals of the season for any individual player in any individual match. Omaha has saved 2 set points. A third one for Atlanta coming off the timeout. In the net, Dixon missed it. It is deuce in Omaha.
The Supernovas are relentless. You can never count them out. Dixon just not getting on top of that ball enough. Maybe the set a little too low, not hitting it at its peak, and just coming down on it a little too much with all that snap.
And Cooper lets him off the hook and gives Atlanta its 4th set point.
Number 21, number 15, Iko Jones.
Micaiah White back up to the front row. Watch Leah Edmond in the back row on that Piper Bick. Marley Monterey back to serve. This is a good rotation for the Vibe.
Valentine Anderson shoves that all the way to Nunaviller. Excellent set by Valentine Anderson, going all the way from pin to pin.
Incredible set, Valentine Anderson. She gets her feet there, she keeps her weight behind that set, and she is able to push that ball not just all the way out to the pin, but in the perfect spot for Brooke Nunaviller to tool with the tip.
Valentine Anderson was actually a teammate of Atlanta outside Leah Edmonds for 1 year in Puerto Rico. There have been 8 ties, 3 lead changes in this first set. Here's another tie. Monterey, Jones, big swing, just too hot to handle from Iko Jones.
Iko Jones is such a presence out there on the right side. She's extremely physical. She contacts that ball really high. And watch her swing kind of through the seam, nice and high. Good follow through on that swing to get Atlanta up by 1.
Set point number 5 for Atlanta. Cooper uses her hands for the pass. Payne has to swing again. Here's Edmond. Oh, Edmond! That is how you end the set on your 5th opportunity. Huge, hard angle, getting a big piece of Nunaviller, and last year's MVP making a statement to end the first set.
A 4-4 swing straight down. It was gorgeous. Leah Edmond is one of those that is just so determined to win.
She had just had enough on the 5th different set point, well into deuce. Atlanta uses the big swing from the MVP of last year's regular season, and the Vibe take the first set by 2. Hey, welcome back to the CHI Health Center in Omaha. 27-25 in an entertaining first set between 2 determined teams. Atlanta takes the first set on the road. First set stats are sponsored by FICO. Pro Volleyball Federation is proud to partner with FICO to champion financial literacy. PVF athletes will engage with the league and its communities to provide financial education. Both teams held under 200. Some great defense on both sides.
Leah Edmond was a standout in that first set, contributing to that good efficiency. 5 kills, hit 400. Aiko Jones, 6 kills, led the team in that set, hit 385. Those were 2 standout players in the first set. Omaha, just a few more hitting errors, but overall, I mean, a tight first match.
Yeah, Omaha got some volume production from a few of its expected players, Nunaville or Cooper Payne, but the efficiency wasn't anywhere near where Atlanta's top options hitting efficiencies were. Cooper, another hitting error for the Novas.
Reagan Cooper just a little bit underneath that ball, not able to get on top of it, follow through and snap.
Side out there for Awale and Omaha. It was interesting, both coaches, when we asked them keys to the match, the first thing they each mentioned, Atlanta said, we have to stay in system. Omaha said, we need to make sure Atlanta is not in system. So they're really focusing on whether or not Atlanta has the best chance to click offensively. They do right there. Jones gets the block touch.
And because this Atlanta team is so difficult to defend, so you're trying to get them out of system, that way it eliminates at least one aspect of their offense. They have very active middles, so that's why you're trying to get them out of system.
Nunaviller, she has an artful violence to her approach.
It is a little violent, isn't it? She works so hard to get her feet there. She is so springy and athletic, and every time she attacks the ball, it's extremely dynamic.
It's just fierce. From Brooke Nunaviller, one of the great competitors in the sport, an all-around player as well, but Cheney the kill.
It's fierce physically, and then it's also fierce on her face. She has one of the best game faces in the league.
Yeah, Nunaviller is the captain for Omaha, their clear leader, and just supports the team in so many different ways, whether it be with that leadership, her stabilizing, passing ability as a pin, or her offensive play as well.
Point, Atlanta.
Good scramble play in transition. As an outside attacker, as Leah Edmond, you are going to get, I have to go to the sets, and maybe you're in system, you're out of system, you're gonna get a majority of the set. So to be able to problem solve and clean up scrappy plays that are a little quick is an imperative attribute to have, and Leah Edmond has it.
Fourth appearance for Atlanta from Micaiah White. She has the serve and the dig. Second ball, Hence. Excellent set, Edmond, Nunaviller. Jones picked up by Payne. Nunaviller out of system, back row, gets a good swing on it. Leah Edmond pulls the string, Payne with the read. Valentine Anderson to Cooper, hit the block and the antenna. And a point for Cooper.
The middle backs, the 6 rotation outsides are putting in work on defense. Such good reads from both sides to keep those plays alive. Kelsey Payne there with the up, nice and beautiful. And then a quick set to Reagan Cooper, who followed through to tool the block.
Because Nunaviller and Edmond are the most known for their defense among the outsides, but White is a veteran player, and Cooper a trustworthy one as well. So there's great defense all the way across the back row. Another score from Edmond, last year's MVP, outside hitter of the year, leader in points at nearly 5 per set. This year, the offensive volume is slightly down, but the efficiency is still really good. The serving is really good. And once again, an MVP candidate, Montserrat Lewis. Oh, Lewis getting all of that one from the middle.
Atlanta Vibe is really in a rhythm right now. They're doing a good job at putting pressure on the Supernovas, getting them out of balance, keeping them out of system, and then setting themselves up to have an efficient offense.
Serve is long. Point Supernovas. Serving. number 1, Valentine Anderson.
Natalia Valentine Anderson, 4 times named the best setter in the Puerto Rican League. Lewis, another excellent choice, just turning that inside the block and scoring.
Corey Lewis really does make it look easy, and it's not. Caitlin Hort is so physical in front of her face, but what Corey Lewis does well is see the block, crossbody swing, and then swings away.
Just like a little flick, just it almost looks so effortless. Gomez is scoring that out of bounds. Atlanta doesn't have an ace. It does have 6 service errors. Omaha doesn't have an ace. It's got 4 service errors. Both 6 showing out by a foot. It's a good set for Payne, but Atlanta was able to anticipate. 8-5, Atlanta takes the 3-point lead going into the timeout.
Leah Edmond is top 10 in blocks. She's so physical as an outside, getting up, pressing, and continuing to lengthen the lead for Atlanta.
Averaging 4.8 digs per set over their last 8 matches, and Morgan Hentz is your PVF player of the week.
But you know what? We might as well get a little snapshot of Paige Briggs-Romine, who's been incredible this season. I will say she's really amped up her pressure on offense, been really good on defense. But back to Morgan Hentz. She extended her PVF most digs in a single season record to 433 on the season with 10 matches with over 20 digs. I mean, those numbers are insane. Her read on the ball is absolutely elite. 3-time national champion at Stanford. Her resume is just as glittery.
Brooke Nuneviller, an all-star this year on Team Shondell, the winning team in the inaugural PVF All-Star match, which was held in Indy. She is 4th in the league in total points, 4th in kills, and 6th in digs. She is the top non-libero in the league in digs per set. Nuneviller with 3.41, and she really, I think either got to be her or Megan Courtney Lush as the top pin passer in the league.
14 double-doubles on the season as well. Incredible.
Lewis nearly scoring behind the setter. That's going out. And an error from White.
Volleyball is a game of momentum. It's a game of rhythm. Right now, it's for the Supernovas. Rare error by Micaiah White, who's been extremely efficient in her first 3 matches.
And Atlanta had been 6 for 12 with no errors in the set before that miss. White making up for it. That one sneaks inside the block and down for Micaiah White, originally from Frisco, Texas, and starred collegiately at Texas.
I love that aggressive swing from Micaiah White. As the block, if you're not pressed enough at the net, there's an area of space in between your arms and the net.
Phoebe Alalea, honestly, her numbers at Minnesota, where she played most recently in college, she was more of a defensive-minded middle, under a kill per set, but she's showing that she's got something offensively.
And Bird did tell us coming into this matchup, Alalea, her strength is blocking, so if we need more offense, maybe we'll go with another middle, but no, she stepped up offensively.
White got there. Smart play by Edmond, trying to go short and disrupt on the free ball, but it doesn't matter. Reagan Cooper with the big swing.
Absolute bullet train of a swing that was so precise, so exact to that one area of the court, that deep corner where no one is.
Atlanta led by 3 going into the timeout. It's now 9-9. And a roof against Edmond, a rare block against Edmond on a back row swing. The first lead of the set for Omaha.
Brooke Nuneviller was there as the outside blocker. She met Awalea in the middle, putting up a nice wall against Leah Edmond. And then the timing was there, and the palms were pressed to the floor at the perfect time as well.
Another heavy arm moment from Micaiah White. You know what, it took some conviction as well for Laura Bird-Coon to not only go with Awalea, but stick with her, because Kayla Caffey on a team that's been really good all season. Caffey had played every single possible set before the last couple of matches. She wasn't feeling 100% against San Diego. Awalea came in. Bird said, look, she earned an opportunity to show us more. Just played very well in that match against the Mojo. There is Vicini with the kill for Atlanta.
And to your point on that, Bird loves the diversity in each position. And she said, depending on the matchups, we have the freedom to put different middles in, to put different outsides in. And it's really just a matchup thing as well.
That hit the ground. Natalia Valentine Anderson hitting .255 this season when she decides to go over.
Number 5, Nuneviller.
Nuneviller coming off a 2-ace match against Grand Rapids with a service error. Omaha swept Grand Rapids and held the Rise to just 0-89. No one had more than 7 kills for the Rise. Omaha won that match despite only passing 38% in system, their worst since January 12th against Grand Rapids. That's been kind of the one thorn in the side, surprisingly, lately for Omaha. Their passing has been a little bit of a struggle.
And that speaks volumes of Valentine Anderson and their setters to be able to better the ball and run as good of an offense as they do when the pass is off the net.
Unconventional, but Edmond still gets the kill.
Only Leah Edmond. That was such a difficult position to be in. That block was up and set right in front of her. Everyone was there on top of her, but she's got a high reach and she was able to swing over the block, super high vertical.
Payne on the D-ball. Kelsey Payne was hitting negative for a good part of the first set, and I'm looking now, she's still under 0 right now. That is her 5th kill, but has 6 hitting errors.
Yeah, Kelsey Payne has kind of been touch and go. We've seen some standout performances with her 22 kills, coming off of 8 kills, but then she'll have a match where it's less. It's just about a rhythm thing for her.
Point 5.
Aiko Jones sends it away.
Survey number 15.
Teams exchanging points, 6 straight side outs right now. Also been an unconventional match in the sense that there are 12 combined service errors, not a single ace so far, for whatever that's worth. And you knew 13 was coming.
Is wide.
Sometimes it's contagious. Serving is mental at this point. You're going back to the service line, you're thinking about it. It can be a little contagious. Atlanta statistically is the stronger serving team as far as aces are concerned. They lead the league with 111 as opposed to Omaha's 60 throughout the season.
Typically, you want to serve away from Hentz because that's what happens when you're in system because of Morgan Hentz. Then Leah Edmond can just demolish the ball.
And that's one of the strategies of Omaha's game. Keep the ball away from Morgan Hentz in serve receive and in digging, and on the offense, swing towards the right area of the court.
Interference on the Atlanta block, and Lewis, point Omaha.
Yeah, you cannot rise over the net and affect the play on the other side of the net, touch the ball or affect the play in any way. Good block right out of the gates, but then there, yep, making contact with that ball over on the other side.
If there was any part over the plane of the net, that would have been a legal touch. Lewis makes up for it with the slide kill. That breaks what was the 9th tie of this set already. Back and forth and back and forth. There actually have been 10 straight side outs taking it into this timeout. Atlanta leading Omaha 16-15 and by a set. The Omaha Supernovas and the Atlanta Vibe, a battle between the first place Novas and the second place Vibe, who, although they're in second place in the standings, are as hot as any team in the league with 10 straight wins. What do you think has stuck out the most about Atlanta? 10 straight matches in this league, very, very tough to do. What stood out the most during that streak?
I think with how talented each of these teams are, it's the mental fortitude and the willpower of this team, because it's so tightly contested, but they have the mental game to just refuse to lose. So I like the mental game and the determination from Atlanta.
We also asked Kayla Banworth, Atlanta's head coach, as that's a point for White and Atlanta. How important would it be to take momentum into the postseason? She said it would be nice. They're fine with keeping the streak going, but a little adversity wouldn't hurt anyone either. So they're okay regardless, I think was the message there. But super proud of the 10 match winning streak. Edmond and Montserrat both hitting the floor. Nunaviller with the big time hammer. When the other team is scrambling, that's when you got to pull that out. Nunaviller does.
One of the matchups that I was most excited to see tonight was the battle of the outsides. Leah Edmond, Micaiah White, Brooke Nunaviller, Reagan Cooper, also physical and powerful on the outside pin.
Offensive numbers are up this set. Atlanta hitting well over 400. Omaha lingering around 300. Both teams were under 200 in the first set. Micaiah White tacks on a kill for the Vibe.
All of Atlanta's players hitting over 400 in this set. Incredible efficiency.
Short serve, Montserrat. Nunaviller. What a matchup hitting cross court at Hens. And White, again, she loves to hit cross court. If she gets off a clean shot, it is tough to stop with White hitting the angle.
And it's the work that Atlanta puts in transition. Morgan Hens is in that left back position, digging in, playing her position so well. Marley Montserrat from that far off the net is still able to better the ball and set up her offense in a position to score.
When you say better the ball, tell me what you mean.
Whenever you contact the ball, you're trying to help your team score in the best way possible. So if you're off the net, bettering the ball is getting your attacker in the position where they will be the most likely to score. Same with a positive block touch. You're bettering the ball. You're slowing down the opposing offense.
You're helping out your team's standing in the point. Atlanta was about to celebrate that stuff, but the ball ricocheted out. Omaha down 2, Nunaviller to serve. Vicini on the gap set. A lot of her kills look just like that. It's not, I mean, she's not crushing the ball, but just figures out a way on those gap sets.
I think those gap sets really open her up. It opens up her vision. It's moving the block, and she feels very confident attacking and tooling off of a moving block.
Vicini won a national championship at Stanford, was a 4-year starter. Cooper the kill. Mac Pedraza in at setter for Omaha.
This is one of those areas of Omaha's game where they have some depth. Berg told us if we just need to change up the rhythm, then we'll put in Pedraza. She holds the ball a little bit longer. There's more of a lift, and there's just a different rhythm to the game.
And Allison Witten in to serve for the Novas. And Jones sends it back where it came from.
This is one of the most efficient sets we have seen Atlanta play all season, and that's saying something. They're hitting 483 as a team. Aiko Jones, 2 kills on 3 attempts, so every single time she gets a chance to score, she is really putting in the effort, hitting 667. Correction, my stats just updated, 750 with 3 kills on 4 attempts. Incredible.
Atlanta running a really well-oiled machine offensively. That was an out-of-system score. Montserrat already has over 30 assists Not even done with the second set. This is the largest lead in any set for either team. Monserrat, again, that was an out-of-system, non-Monserrat play, but she has 18 assists already this set for Atlanta, which is up by 4.
Coach Kayla Banworth told us Marley Monserrat is a leader. She brings the energy in the fight. She's a wonderful teammate. Her location and decision making is progressing every single day, and this is one of my favorite things. She said she sets the standard for hard work, and that is so important from the setting position.
Atlanta pulling away. One of the things that Kayla Banworth told us is that with their ups and downs earlier in the season, this 10-match winning streak has validated, reinforced all the hard work they have put in. And right now, they're putting on display exactly why they're the hottest team in the league. At first place Omaha in this environment, on the verge of a 2-0 lead in the match. And Atlanta this season, PVF record, that's a 10-match active winning streak. They haven't lost since March 1st at Orlando. They were the second team to clinch the playoffs a couple days after Omaha did. But the Vibe, just a total turnaround. They were sub 500 through 14 matches. Since then, it's been perfection. They have not lost.
And one of the strengths with this 10-match winning streak has been the efficiency. I mean, they haven't hit under 200 in 7 matches. Fun fact about that streak, though, 10 in a row, they have not played Omaha in this streak. This is the final team that they would have to defeat in this streak that they have.
Omaha needs a bigger space, so many fans.
5-point lead. Within the set, the Vibe have won 6 of the last 8. Reagan Cooper. Taylor had to dig. Leah Edmond. Hard with the block.
Big time block from the league's leading blocker. She gets there so well, really fast to close. That middle blocker is all about closing, shutting off those seams. Nice high hands and press over the net. That was a must-have point for the Supernovas.
Even though Atlanta is down by 2 in the loss column in the standings, if they win this match, because there's another match left against Omaha, you could then say Atlanta would control its own destiny for the 1 seed, as would Omaha. Whereas the Supernovas knew coming in they could basically lock up the 1 seed by winning today. They've been playing from behind a little bit, and now a boatload of set points for Atlanta with Jones serving. Nunaviller takes the serve. Monserrat to Edmond. Kelsey Payne from the outside. Jones on the D-ball, and Atlanta wins 8 of the final 11 points in the set. It wins 25-19. Omaha will need a reverse sweep in order to win this match. 2-0 in sets for Atlanta. The final point, Monserrat has been a maestro orchestrating the offense. 33 assists. You think about something around 11 assists per set is elite in this league. She has 33 assists through 2, but Leah Edmond 10 for 21 with 3 errors, hitting .333 with 6 digs. Madison standing by.
All right, Leah, extremely efficient performance by your team. What is it about your team when you get into a rhythm that allows you to produce that kind of efficiency?
I think we keep talking to each other about what's open on the court and constantly moving the ball around. I think that's a big thing for us. Like somebody might know, like, hey, that's somebody's line shot. Being able to move around the ball and moving depth and hitting short, then deep, and then short again, and just kind of dissecting the defense as we're playing.
With a game this tight, what's the separator?
I think just going after 1 point. Not trying to get a big lead, not trying to win the whole game in 1 point, just doing this 1 point and then doing our job again for another point until we can get to 25.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
A determined bunch, this Atlanta Vibe team. They have not lost a match since all the way back on March 1st at Orlando. Wound up beating Orlando to break Orlando's winning streak record, and now looking for their 11th straight victory. And at first place, Omaha. Atlanta up 2-0. Well, it's a primetime match between number 1 and number 2 in the league. Omaha hosting Atlanta. And when you have a primetime match, how about a primetime player? Leah Edmond. Just spoke with her. 10 kills on 21 swings and 6 digs.
There is little doubt why Leah Edmond is pacing this league in a couple of categories. She is so zonal focused and centered in her goal, which is 1, to put the ball to the floor quickly, and 2, to win. She's got all the range in the world. Watch her paint the line right there. She's very technically sound, extremely experienced in all 6 rotations. She provides a lot of pressure behind the service line. I mean, just all of the little things Leah Edmond does right.
And in that second set, Laura Berg-Kuhn talked coming in about wanting to make sure Atlanta not in system. Well, they sided out. Atlanta did at 79%. They were in system, hitting .472 in the second set and up 2-0. Very closely contested first set, and then a late pull away in the second set. Atlanta up 2-0 on the road against Omaha. Can the Vibe make it 11 straight victories and do it in the building of the first place team? Remember, these teams also have one more regular season meeting. Everyone plays each other 4 times. These teams will meet in the season finale in Georgia. I think Edmond is equally, if not more, dynamic as a back row hitter.
Absolutely, and it's because of how high she gets up to contact that ball, the momentum that she brings in her approach, and she's not letting the ball dropping. She is reaching and beating the ball at its peak. The
fact that they now have added Micaiah White. An impressive swing there from Kelsey Payne, but when you have that rotation, those rotations where White is in the front row and Edmond is there on the pick, there's just so many elite options on the floor at once.
And you've got Iko Jones on the D ball. That really puts so much pressure and stress on the block because of how balanced they run their offense.
Look at that angle threaded by White from the left side.
Holy range, that is so difficult to do. You've got to get on the ball so quickly, have a nice high snap, and then swing through. That's a very difficult shot to attack, but she does so with such confidence.
We were talking this morning about whether teams would start to adjust with more and more film on her, with the fact that she usually hits cross, but maybe she'll just hit further cross. Good touch by Lewis. Still getting shown the ropes defensively, and Marley Montserrat adds a stat to her day with a kill.
Marley Montserrat continues to impress. She does not take a game off. She has continued to progress her game, and specifically as an offensive weapon, she's got really good situational awareness, and she can read the defense and know when to do that.
Cooper is blocked on the right side swing, and Atlanta jumps ahead once again.
When it rains, it pours for this Atlanta team. Their block is locked in, so disciplined. Bacchini does a great job of getting there and closing.
Well, Corey Lewis this year with her 35th service error. She didn't play back row at all, didn't serve at all in college at Florida State, and really I think has done an impressive job just adapting to that role in the pros. She has 6 digs each of the last 2 matches. Upstairs, Kelsey Payne. That's no good, 5-2.
Atlanta overall has played a little bit more efficiently in both facets of the game. In the side-out efficiency, we talked about it coming off of siding out 79%, and in transition, they've also been very efficient.
Valentine Anderson had to race just to get there. Atlanta hitting .323 and inch that percentage up. Aiko Jones.
I said in the beginning, but Omaha is leading the league in opponent hitting efficiency. I think that's one area of their game that's kind of slow right now, is the block touches, slowing down the opposing offense of Atlanta.
Again, out of system. Omaha struggling to pass and paying the price. Timeout, Omaha.
Timeout on the floor.
Valentine Anderson running for her life the last couple of points, and a 7-2 Atlanta lead, already up 2-0. Well, this year, so much talent spread across the league, and a couple of MVP candidates within this matchup. This is Madison Fitzpatrick's list MVP candidates.
Yes, these are my picks so far for the front runners for MVP. Leah Edmond leading the league in points at 425. She's got to be on this list. Abercrombie, playing for Orlando, broke the single season kills record yesterday. She's been seemingly unstoppable on offense. Nunaviller, top 5 in points, kills percent in 4th in digs with 283. She's a 6 rotation superstar. Then you've got Hilly, who's leading the league in assists. And Teeler statistically has the most blocks as an opposite, unstoppable on the attack as well, 3rd in kills. I think that just shows how much talent we have in the league. These numbers are incredible, and I think the talent just continues to rise even in season 2.
Atlanta with one of those candidates, Leah Edmond, and Monterey trying to extend this service run. Atlanta ended last set on an 8-3 run. This set begins 7-2, so they've won 15 of the last 20 points. And in response, Laura Bird-Kuhn, she's not going full 6-person substitution at this juncture of the set like she did last match, but Mac Pedraza comes in to set, and Emily Londop, the former Ohio State star and rookie 2nd round number 10 overall pick, comes in. Nunaviller gets there, reaches out, and extends for the tip kill. By the way, Natalia Valentine Anderson, who checks out, recently picked up her 15th double-double of the year, but that assist goes to Pedraza.
It's a beautiful placement of this set, too. She cut it off at the right time. Brooke Nunaviller did. She had about a foot to work with down the line, so she cut it off quickly and got the tool.
Back to Brooke. Cooper behind the attack line. Couple of points in a row since the change at center and right side.
Cooper decided to go to Hensville, and that was a rare misdig from Morgan Hens, who thought that ball was out, let it go. I mean, it only tagged the line by an inch or 2.
You can't go to downtown Hensville. You got to go to the outskirts in order to try to roam free. As Monterey has made a couple of similar choices with success, just flicking that ball over on the center dump. And this is the 8-point timeout. Omaha had just scored back-to-back points for the first time since 10-9 in the second set. Atlanta has been dominant since then. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on the Roku Sports Channel. Well, another beautiful day in Omaha, but the result hasn't been as pretty for these hometown fans. 8-4 Atlanta, which Atlanta did score going into the timeout, but mentioned going into the break that the previous couple of points were scored by Omaha back-to-back. The first time they had scored back-to-back points since early-ish in the second set. But Atlanta scores the next 2.
And this is a good rotation for the Vibe. Leah Edmond in the front row, Aiko Jones as well, Vicini, and Marley Monterey in the back row. Marley Monterey is leading her team in kills in this set with 2.
Finding different ways to do it. Hasn't mattered what they've done so far. It's been working, but I think Pedraza was the one to get credit for that block. Mac Pedraza earns the stuff block, just her 5th of the season off the bench for Omaha.
Mac Pedraza does have a little bit more height over there on that right side pin, coming in at 6'2" as opposed to Valentine Anderson's 5'10".
Pedraza began the year on the practice squad, elevated in February, and Vicini right from the middle, able to convert.
Serving number 12,
Vicini is one of those middles that's extremely active offensively. That's one of the identity points of this Atlanta team, is their middles are extremely active offensively and just as dominant as they are defensively.
Perfect pass by Nunaville. Nunaville gets a piece of it on that tight set and is able to just touch it off the block.
Nunaville has had a couple of those where she's just using and abusing the block in a situation where maybe she shouldn't. That was her left hand. You see the press from Aiko Jones, but maybe just a little too late and giving her too much line. Certain players would be uncomfortable in that situation. Nunaville seem to thrive. Nunaville got there with pure determination. Oh, despite their best efforts, Corey Lewis over 2 kills per set and #1 in the league in hitting efficiency. One of the things that Coach Kayla Banworth was working on with Corey Lewis was getting up quickly in transition, being available and swinging faster to beat the block. She executed that really well right there. First ace of the match for either team. It comes from Aiko Jones. And sending it right at the newest player on the court, Allie Batenhorst, most definitely targeting her in serve receive right now. Right back at Batenhorst. Batenhorst can be a spark plug off the bench and uses the block. That's exactly what Coach Bird described her as, a spark plug, and she said she's explosive like a rubber band. She has one of the most explosive approaches in the league. Just watch her approach, how springy she is, and then how quick her arm swing is. Quick off the ground as well.
Service air, point Atlanta. Serving number 13, Leah Edmond.
Emily Londot, big time angle. Omaha with some substitutes in, trying to crawl back into this match.
And this is where Omaha's depth plays to their advantage. It gives them a different rhythm, putting in these different substitutes. It changes up the matchup, and it also changes the energy. Emily Londot, quite the swing and nice and sharp in that angle.
Overall, Atlanta out hitting Omaha 324 to 165. Passing numbers have been more similar on paper. Pedraza with the point after Nunaville was able to dive to keep that point going.
It is impossible to count how many plays Brooke Nunaville keeps alive for her team, just with her pure determination to win and keep the ball in the air. Mac Pedraza with the left hand, perfect placement by her.
Too much from Corey Lewis.
And this is what happens when you have 2 elite teams. If you're in system and you get a clean pass and serve receive and you're able to run through your full offense, you are going to be siding out a good amount of the time. I mean, coming off of siding out 79% for the Vibe, so they've been really efficient in that area when they get the pass.
Good pass, Batenhorst. Pedraza trying to do it herself, cannot. Well, perspective as far as how efficient Atlanta's offense has been. The PVF season high for 3-set matches, assists. Horn Pun, Goodpart, and Sydney Hilly each had 44 in a 3-set match at one point. Marley Monserrat is at 41. And so still plenty of time left in the 3rd set. She looks primed to set the 3-set mark this year, assuming that Atlanta can also hold on and win in 3. Add one more, Monserrat to Vicini.
Vicini on that gap set is absolutely lethal. lethal. She identifies the block so well, is able to get on top of it and swing, and Atlanta's got a hefty lead.
Marley Montserrat is the heart and soul of this Atlanta team. No question, the emotional leader of the Vibe, and she has this offense locked in. Timeout. Volleyball fans, Lee's Family Forum just outside Las Vegas will host the second Pro Volleyball Federation Championship on May 9th and 11th. The top 4 PVF teams will face off for the opportunity to earn a cool $1 million prize. All session tickets, which give access to all 3 matches, start at just $49 and are on sale now at provolleyball.com/tickets. Might want to start looking up those Omaha to Vegas flights. I don't know what airline that would be, but I'm sure there will be some Novas fans who make the trip. Packed house here in this one. However, it's the road team. The Atlanta Vibe on a 10-match winning streak. Up big in the 3rd set. Already up 2 sets to nothing. Jones. It is 17-10 Atlanta. How about book those Atlanta to Vegas tickets as well?
The block touches for Atlanta in that rally were really good, and it's what kept the play alive, allowing them a chance in transition to score. The Vibe has just been rolling in every area of the game.
First place versus second place. The first place team, Omaha, is the host. Big dig from Hens. Both teams have already clinched their ticket to Vegas in the PVF semis, along with Orlando as of last night. Batenhorst in front of a lot of fans that are familiar with her work.
It's such an advantage to have attackers in the back row, where if you're scrambling, watch Mac Pedraza off the net scrambling, you have outlets in the back row. You've got London on the D-ball, and then you've got Batenhorst through the middle, so that is such an advantage to have both of those athletes back there.
Spent last year at USC, but played most of her career for University of Nebraska, and Batenhorst was born here in Omaha. Nunneviller gets Omaha a little bit closer. Effective serve from Horde. Recently, Caitlin Horde had a career-best 3 aces at Vegas. That was the match when Omaha clinched the postseason, became the first team this year to clinch the postseason. But Vicini on the gap set has been wash, rinse, repeat. She is 7 for 14 with that assist. Montserrat ties the 3-set season high with 44.
Vicini just found that gap in the block so well and beat the block with her fast arm swing.
Taylor Head out of Florida State comes in to serve. Nearly kept it up, but Leah Edmond earns the block against Emily London.
I think Atlanta is definitely winning the serve and pass game. For the Supernovas, they haven't amped up their service pressure enough, and that's what's allowing Atlanta to side out so efficiently, whereas Atlanta serving a little bit more aggressively.
That found its way in the court.
Atlanta.
Everything working, including that from Iko Jones.
I call this the flow zone. I read that in the sports psychology book. Whenever it just feels like every single area of your game is flowing and it's working, and it's almost like you're on autopilot. Everything is just muscle memory is working for you.
13th kill for Jones, hitting .571. Edmond to the floor. Atlanta putting on a show in Omaha.
That's Leah Edmond's 3rd kill in this set. Overall, 13, hitting well over 300, 9 digs and 2 blocks, an all-around really solid game from her tonight.
46 assists in 3 sets. Over 15 per set for Montserrat as she checks out in the dub sub. Oh, that was awkward. I don't know what just happened, but I know Omaha just won the point.
And that was a must-have point for Omaha. They're going to come back in this set. They're going to need to play extremely aggressive and almost flawless. You cannot afford a service error, a hit out. You have to play your best volleyball right now.
Atlanta was just laughing that point off after a rescue from Omaha snuck over the net at an awkward angle. Ficini gets the swing and gets the kill. She is doing it in different ways. I think she's at her best on that gap set, but we've seen a quick one kill, and that's a slide kill.
And you have to respect her both ways. You have to respect her in front of the setter if you're the block and behind the setter. Also, beautiful pass by Leah Edmond. She's having a very solid receive game. Her platform was angled nicely, and that's what kept them in system there to run on the slide.
Ficini 6 for 13 with a couple of blocks. Corey Lewis, 7 kills, 375, a couple of blocks. Really everyone playing well for Atlanta, including the middles. But Nunaviller fits it inside the block there, finds the gap. By the way, checking in for Atlanta is Taya Beller, a rookie out of Wayne State, which is located in Nebraska, Division II school.
Got to give a shout out to Mac Pedraza. What an athletic set. Her body facing the net and the change of direction, perfectly placed for Nunaviller.
Merritt Beeson checking in. Atlanta putting some reserve players in the match and still scoring.
Merritt Beeson is clutch. She is one of those players that has the ability to come off the bench, be automatically warm, and score in a high volume.
Well, this is uncharted territory historically for Omaha. 15 sweep wins, only 3 sweep losses in team history. Atlanta has never swept Omaha. 2 points away. And second and third sets have been a thrashing. Isringhausen is checked in, gets a swing. Kayla Benworth emptying the bench right now. Beeson in front of some quote-unquote hometown supporters. A successful collegiate career, to say the least, for her after transferring from Florida to Nebraska. And it is match point with Tuaninga to serve. That's out.
I heard some cheers when Beeson came onto the court. She is beloved in the state of Nebraska, was such a leader on that team. The first overall draft pick, and she knows how to play in these pressure situations. So I love that she gets put out there in these big games because she knows how to deliver.
She did lead the team in the season opener with 17 kills when Omaha beat Atlanta here on January 10th. This will be the first Atlanta win over Omaha this season as well. Tuaninga with the set to Isringhausen. Now Londa to keep the match going. There was a touch. Point for the Novas. And another match point fended off.
Good feet to the ball by Londa. Just a rookie, but able to hang in the pros at a really high level. Good decision by her, swinging high off of the hands to grab the fingertips.
Another match point. Awolea puts it in play. Tuaninga, Beeson. It lands in, and the match is still going.
You see the fight from the Supernovas. Atlanta has match point, but they are still 100% locked in, cheering after every single point. You're never out if you're the Supernovas. Wow, centimeter.
That much from the match being over on what would have been a Beeson kill. Back to Merritt Beeson. Nunaviller doing it all to keep the match going. Londa saved by Pedraza off the floor. Batenhorst, yes, 24-18. Timeout. Atlanta, or is that a buzzer for a challenge? We heard the buzzer. It's for a challenge.
Atlanta is challenging block touch, which would have resulted in 4 contacts.
Atlanta was pretty confident after that block. At least Merritt Beeson was. She came down and she said, no touch, no touch. You might as well challenge it.
While they're looking at this, what do you think the implication is for the postseason after watching Atlanta just dismantle Omaha here on the road?
I think that if you're Omaha, this shows you some areas that you could grow, and this actually could be a really good learning experience for them and maybe play to their advantage going into the playoffs. I mean, when we talked to Kayla Banworth about it, she said, yeah, momentum into the playoffs would be nice, but it's kind of like a reset. They've already been beaten by Omaha twice, so it's just kind of a reset, and I don't think it has any serious implications, but I think it will show Omaha areas that they need to grow in.
Laura Bird-Kuhn looking on as Bill Stanley, the R2, helps out with this replay review. Bolt Six makes the decision. And Atlanta was incorrect. There was a block touch. So the match does continue. Atlanta has one challenge remaining in the set, but still 6 more match points. And they're going to win it right here on the missed serve. The Atlanta Vibe have extended their winning streak to a record 11 straight. Their first ever sweep at Omaha, and because of this win, Atlanta squarely in the mix still for the 1 seed in the PVF playoffs.
It's very clear that Atlanta has the momentum right now in this season. I think the word to describe their gameplay tonight would have been clean. Extremely efficient offensively, not many errors in serve receive. They were passing absolute dimes. Their defense digging balls like crazy, 58 total digs in a 3-setter. And Marley Monterey was incredible with 46 assists.
46 assists, a 3-set season high in the PVF with 7 digs. The team hit 345, led by Aiko Jones, hitting 571 with 13 kills. Omaha, Atlanta, Orlando all know they're in. Indy losing today against Grand Rapids. That race is getting closer for the final playoff spot. But because of this victory, Atlanta just a half game back now of Omaha, and these teams still play each other in the season finale. So both teams, you could say, control their own destiny the rest of the way for the 1 seed in Vegas. And the semi starting on May 9th. For Madison Fitzpatrick and our entire crew, producer Katie Keating, director Jack Carbone, I'm AJ Cannell saying so long from the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska. For the first time in franchise history, the Atlanta Vibe sweep the Omaha Supernovas. We got more for you coming up as well on the Roku Sports Channel.